Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Your Social Media Compass, the podcast where we simplify social media marketing so you can grow your business with confidence. I'm your host, Jacqueline Baker, founder of J Baker Media. If you've been listening to the podcast, thank you so much for being here. And if this is your first time, welcome. My goal with this podcast is to give you practical, actionable advice that you can start using immediately without all of the confusing marketing lingo. Today's topic is one that comes up in almost every discovery call that I have with clients. Business owners tell me things like, I'm posting consistently, my videos are getting solid views, people seem to like my content, but no one is reaching out. Or alternatively, they'll say, social media just doesn't work for my business. And every single time I tell them the same thing. Social media absolutely works, but simply posting isn't enough to be successful. There's a huge difference between creating content that gets attention and creating content that actually generates leads and clients. So today we're going to break down why your content may not be converting and the changes you can make to turn your social media into one of your best sales tools. Let's jump on in. First, I want to identify what converting actually means. So before we dive into the mistakes, I think it's important to define what we actually mean by the word converting. A lot of people assume that if a post doesn't directly generate a sale, that it failed, and that's not the case. A conversion could be someone following your page, joining your email list, downloading a guide, booking a consult, sending you a DM, so on and so forth. Social media is rarely about instant gratification. It's about building momentum. Every post is another opportunity to build trust and move someone one step closer to becoming a customer. Now, I want you to stop measuring your success by likes. So many business owners judge their success by how many likes they get. But here's the reality. A post with 30 likes can generate 5 qualified leads, and another post with 200,000 views might generate 0 leads. The algorithm does not pay your bills. Customers do. I've had clients tell me this post didn't do very well, and then I'll ask them, well, how many inquiries did it get? And they'll say, you know what? I got 3. 3 inquiries from one post is fantastic. Don't let vanity metrics distract you from what actually matters. Instead of asking how many people liked this post, start asking yourself, did this post move someone closer to working with me? That is a much more valuable metric. Are you attracting the right audience? Here's another question I want you to think about. Who are you actually creating content for? Because if your answer is everyone, then your content is probably connecting with no one. For example, let's say you're a real estate agent. Would you create the same content for first-time buyers that you would buy for luxury home buyers? Probably not. The problems are different. The questions are different. The goals are different. The same goes for businesses. The more specific you are, the easier it is for your ideal client to think, wow, they're directly talking to me. Being specific creates connection. General content tends to get ignored. Are you teaching but not positioning yourself as an expert? Educational content is super important. In fact, I encourage all of my clients to educate their audience, but education alone is not enough. Let's say you're a financial advisor. If every post is, well, here's another marketing tip, here's an investing tip, here's a savings tip, people might learn from you, but they don't know why they should hire you instead of another advisor. Education builds credibility, but positioning builds authority. Don't just teach. Share your experiences, tell stories, talk about client results, share lessons you've learned over the years. That's what separates professionals from content creators. I also want you to tell more stories. One thing I've learned over years and years of managing social media for clients is this. People remember stories a lot more than they remember tips. Imagine reading these 2 posts. One post says, consistency is important. All right, that makes sense. Now imagine the second post. I worked with a client who hadn't posted in 6 months because they thought social media wasn't working. We created a strategy, and within 3 months, they doubled their website traffic. Which one sticks out to you more? I bet you're going to say the second story. Stories create emotion. Emotion creates connection. Connection creates trust. And trust creates customers. Whenever possible, include examples from your own experiences. Next, I want you to stop listing features. Here's another mistake. Businesses spend far too much time talking about features. We offer social media management. We create graphics. We edit videos. Yeah, that's nice. But your audience is probably thinking, so what? Instead, focus on outcomes like this. We help busy business owners stay visible online without spending hours creating content. We help brands build trust through consistent social media. We help businesses turn followers into paying customers. You see the difference there? The first explains what you do. The second example explains why it matters. People don't buy services, they buy solutions. Are you addressing objections? Think about why someone might hesitate before hiring you. They might be thinking it's too expensive, they don't have time, I've tried this before, I'm not sure this will work for me. Those objections should become your content. Answer them before someone even asks. If people constantly tell you, you know what, I don't know what to post, make content about that. If people think social media takes hours a day, show them your workflow. If you think social media only works for influencers, prove otherwise. The more objections you remove, the easier it becomes for someone to say yes. Show the human side of your business. One thing I love about social media is that it allows people to get to know you before they even meet you. Do not underestimate that. Share behind the scenes, celebrate milestones, share funny moments, introduce your team, all that good stuff. People want to know who's behind the logo. Some of my highest performing posts haven't been the most polished marketing pieces. They've been simple, authentic moments because people love connecting with people, not businesses. Are you making it easy for people to work with you? This one is surprisingly common. Someone lands on your Instagram profile, they love your content, and now what? Can they immediately figure out what you do, who you help, where your base, contact you, how to book a consult? If not, you're creating friction. Your bio should answer those simple questions within seconds. Your website should make it easy to take action. Your captions should include a clear next step. Never make people guess. Let's talk about calls to action because they're often an afterthought. A lot of captions end with something like this. Have a great day, see you later, chat soon. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't encourage action. Instead, invite people into the conversation. Try things like, what questions do you have regarding the above? Send me a message if you need some support. Book a free consult. Comment below if you've experienced this. If this sounds familiar, let's chat. Consults are free. The simpler the ask, the more likely people are to respond. Consistency builds familiarity. One of the biggest myths in marketing is that people buy after seeing you once. Now, most don't. Marketing experts often talk about multiple touch points before someone becomes a customer. The point is, people need to see you consistently. Think about your own buying habits. When you're considering hiring someone, you don't usually make a decision immediately. You visit their website, you check out their reviews, you scroll through their Instagram, maybe you watch a few videos. That's exactly what your audience is doing. Every piece of content is another opportunity to reinforce your credibility. Social proof changes everything. If you're not sharing testimonials, you're missing one of the easiest ways to build solid trust. People love hearing about other people's experiences. Take screenshots, share reviews, share before and after, share a client win. Even something as simple as we just wrapped up another successful project can reinforce that people are actively working with you. Think about your content mix. One exercise I recommend is looking back at your last 20 posts or so. Ask yourself these questions. How many were educated? How many were entertained? How many built trust? How many showed personality? How many actually talked about my services? If every post looks more or less the same, your audience will eventually turn out. Variety keeps people engaged. Some posts should make people think. Some posts should make them smile. Some should ask questions. Some should inspire action. That's how you build a well-rounded social media strategy. If there's one thing I hope you can take away from today's episode, it's this. Social media is not just about posting. It's about communicating. Every post should have a purpose. Every caption should have an answer. Every video should move someone one step closer to trusting you. Now, you do not have to chase every trend. You don't have to be on camera. You don't need hundreds of thousands of followers. You simply need the right strategy. Focus on serving your audience. Focus on solving problems. Focus on building consistency. When you do that, your content stops being something you just post on to stay active. It becomes one of the most valuable marketing assets your business has. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love if you subscribed, left a review, or shared it with another business owner who's trying to get more out of their social media. And if you're ready to create content that doesn't simply just get likes, but actually brings in leads and grow your business, I would love to help. You can learn more about J Baker Media by visiting jacquelinebaker.com or connect with me on LinkedIn and Instagram. Until next time, remember this. Don't just post to be seen. Post with a purpose, build trust, and make it easy for people to choose you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you all next time.